Thank you, Father, and thank you, everyone, in advance for your generosity and assistance this Lent in giving of your talent, your time, and/or your treasure. The work that we do is very important, and we've been doing it for quite a long time. So let me take you back to the very beginning. In 1979, many of you here today, and those listening at home, may remember that the world was in a little bit of turmoil. The Shah had fallen in Iran. The hostages were taken. American hostages were taken for a lengthy period of time. The Soviet Union, the old Soviet Union, invaded Afghanistan, and Margaret Thatcher was elected Prime Minister of Great Britain, amongst many other things that were going on in a turbulent world. But something very small and somewhat innocuous was taking place right here in our midst. A young deacon named Walter Doyle had just been ordained, and he and his wife and their very young family were kind of challenged as he came out of ordination by the bishop in Worcester to put his new learning into practice. And what was that exactly? What was the challenge? The challenge was, we've got a couple of Vietnamese refugee families that had come over to the Worcester area after the fall of Vietnam, or the end of the Vietnam War, and we need them we need you to find them housing. And he kind of looked at the bishop and said, I don't know how to do that. I know how to pray, I know the rosary, I know how to baptize, but I don't know how to find someone housing, let alone two families with approximately 17 individuals. How do I navigate the language? How do I find them all the other basic necessities of life? But one of the things that Deacon Walter and his wife are and really their whole family are the embodiment of, is something that we all struggle with. How do we literally completely, every day of our lives, trust God and with everything? So they immerse themselves in prayer and trust in God, and God showed them the way. He chose them for a very specific mission and a very specific reason, and he was going to give them everything they needed to succeed, even though they didn't know it when they set out on the journey. So in helping these young families find housing, and they eventually succeeded at doing that, they had to figure out solutions to all those other basic necessities. How do we teach them the language? How do we teach them how to adopt the right skills so that they can work and provide for themselves? How do we introduce them to the time-honored tradition here in the United States and elsewhere of Christmas? They didn't know anything about that. And you may know Urban Missionaries because you may have taken a tag from the Christmas giving tree every year for a long time. And it was born there out of helping these young families be immersed in our tradition here. And so that's one of the pillars of the organization. We've helped with housing, but we've helped with Christmas, not just for those families, but over the 42-year journey, thousands and thousands of children from all over Worcester County. In fact, this last year, we helped 1,680 children to have toys and a brighter, more joyful Christmas. We provide food through a variety of channels. We run the St. Oscar Romero food pantry at the cathedral. We have our own food pantry at our headquarters or home location, which is on Canterbury Street in Worcester, right near St. John's Cemetery, and it's in the old Caselli and Morse building, so that's our complex. We've created, out of the help for the Vietnamese refugee families, a way to help families with household goods, clothing, kind of cradle-to-grave clothing, electronics, furniture, appliances of every sort. We go out into the community and pick up these donations, or you can drop them off at our location. We call it the Little Store, and we have a whole set of programs to help these types of families with immigration, citizenship, English language, and vocational skills for young adults as well as others. And we have created a housing set of units that were really born out of a very generous benefactor of ours who felt like it was one thing to help find housing, but wouldn't it be great if we could actually have housing of our own that we could give to these refugee families. So that's called the St. Stephen's Housing Initiative. We have a triple-decker in Worcester. We're in the market to purchase several more over the coming year or so, and who knows what will happen after that. One of the things that is most gratifying and sort of unknown to people who have come by our facility is up on the second floor we have what we call our Lady of Hope Center. And we have a chapel, think of it as a smaller version of our home parish here at St. Mary's, and everything in the chapel has come from now closed churches in Worcester, the Diocese of Worcester. So it's kind of a lot of meaning for those that come, and it's a little sanctuary within the chaos of every day at Urban Missionaries. And if I could sort of sum up, what are the Urban Missionaries? It's a group of several dozen individuals, mostly lay, but some folks that are, religious sisters or others, that dedicate each day to prayer and to reckless works of charity. And the mission could really be summed up in these words: we have been just helping the least, the last, and the left out for 42 years, and we hope to continue over the next 42 to do the same work. And the longer-term aspiration of the organization is to take what we've done over these past decades and actually bring it to other communities of need in Worcester County and perhaps beyond. So how you can help beyond just fulfilling the almsgiving pledge of the parish is we're always in need of volunteers. You can volunteer an hour here, an hour there. There's no obligation. We have many, many projects that can always use a set of hands. You can donate anything that you're not going to use, clothing and such. We'll pick it up, or you can drop it off. We're always in need of that. And you can certainly give of your treasure. And we have a wonderful sustainers program, so you can set up a monthly contribution to assist the mission. So again, on behalf of Deacon Walter and his wife and their family and Father Tim, we thank you very much for your time and for your generosity.